Hey guys, we got another World War III update. I know things in the past couple days, this past weekend with North Korea and the mainstream media have gone to a slower pace, but stuff over there hasn't stopped. Just because the media is not talking about it doesn't mean it's gone away. North Korea and Pyongyang, good old Kimmy boy, have talked about speeding up their nuclear arsenal testing to the maximum pace. So good old Kimmy boy, dictator of the North, is really showing his strength here. The United States just late last week set up the THAAD system in South Korea. It's fully operational now. It's there. It's ready. And North Korea seems, not to be fazed by that action. This isn't something that was going to stop them. Deploying missile, systems. And the missile systems aren't even deployed in Seoul. They're deployed a couple, I think 100, 150 miles south of Seoul. This wasn't going to stop them. It's not going to phase big old Kimmy boy there, Now we're seeing things with the United States, with the UN, with Western powers, with China and Russia. Actions aren't really curbing Kimmy boy here, They're not really curbing North Korea. On Sunday, you had General McMaster, the U.S. National Security Advisor, state that, the U.S. should be prepared. And this was, not really covered that much. But he went on Fox and said that the U.S. should be prepared to strike North Korea. It wasn't like he was saying that the military should be ready, but it was like the international community, the civilians and the population of the United States, the general public should be prepared if the United States strikes North Korea. Like, it shouldn't be a surprise. It's still very much on the table. And honestly, if something did occur, I wouldn't be too surprised. There's nothing has really gained traction. There's no talks. The sanctions that they're trying to, put on North Korea never have worked. It's just, unless, I've said this time and time again, unless China gets into this proactively, I don't think it's going to curb North Korea. Even if China's 100% on board with sanctions, with cutting off their oil supply, I don't even, I think that, Kim Jong-un and his administration, his generals, I don't think that's going to, stop them. I don't think it's going to phase them. And one thing that the mainstream media is really not talking about is in, 8 days, we have the South Korean elections, and Mr. Moon, he's the top candidate right now, and he really doesn't want the THAAD system in South Korea. He thinks it does more harm than good. And then you got good old warmongering John McCain, the guy who, surprisingly, it's what a coincidence. Every time this guy goes over to the Middle East, there seems to be, right when he leaves, a couple days after he leaves, a couple weeks, there seems to be like some sort of false flag event. It's real weird. But we got John McCain, stating that he's telling Donald Trump, we should consider a preemptive strike on North Korea. And it's just another warmongering tactic by John McCain. This is a guy who, it's like the fuel to his fire is America invading other countries, putting our soldiers at risk, and how different people in the Trump administration, different U.S. senators, different generals within the U.S. Armed Forces are wording their statements when it comes to North Korea and what we should do is a little troubling, because they seem to be pushing, for a preemptive strike, for a strike on North Korea's nuclear plants. But they always put in there that, hey guys, we should try to bring them to the table, seek diplomatic means to get North Korea to curb their nuclear program. But they do it in such a way that they very much want people to know that, hey, a strike on North Korea could definitely happen. And, at the same time, in North Korea, we have not seen any change in their rhetoric. There has not been, one statement put out where North Korea, talks about how they want to seek a diplomatic, means to end this crisis. All they say is that, in America's in the West's wildest dreams, they'll stop North Korea from developing nuclear weapons. And, we're getting pretty big warnings from North Korea because they're saying a nuclear launch / a nuclear test is imminent. They've said that war is imminent. It's on their minds. They're getting ready for it. They know it's going to happen. They know it's coming. And honestly, both sides, North Korea and the United States, you haven't really seen any of them, any action between the two that to make you think that this can end in diplomatic means. There hasn't been any progress. Now, what you do see is you see the U.S., South Korea, and Japan staging drills, just like North Korea did last week. And it's adding fuel to the fire. There's literally no progress being made on both sides to advocate for peace. So we're really going to have to watch this situation. And really, the tipping point is when North Korea tests a nuclear missile or just does another nuclear test, and they will, how the U.S. and its allies respond. Because that will be crucial to see what our next steps are. But like always, guys, we got to keep our eyes peeled and we got to pray because, this situation is not going away. It's just not. And it could end very ugly.